Hey guys, what's going on? Doing a video on the small account journey by Raging Bull or Jason Bond at ragingbull.com, and it's been an interesting ride over the last few months for sure. And one of the most impressive feats was Jason turning 2,000 into 31,000, and then we had this horrible Fitch downgrade of the US credit rating, and the market tanked for like a week or two. Killed all his profits. He ended up coming out with 8,000 profits. So still, turning 2,000 into 8,000 is still no mean feat. That's pretty amazing. So he did really well, but unfortunately a lot of the timing for people joining were on that downgrade, so all they saw were the losing trades and not the dozens and dozens and dozens of winning trades. So after a bit of soul searching and revising the strategy, Jason has settled with just doing one single small account journey. It just started a day or two ago, and is already doing amazingly well. Here it is right here. So he started on August 18th. It's the 29th, so 11 days. He started at 2,000 and he's already at 5,739, which is 187% increase in just 11 days. All 5 trades have been winners. And I've said this in video after video, this is generally what we see each time, and the danger comes as time goes on that we get a downswing in the market or whatever happens. These basically are very, very high risk, high reward. So what I'd like to tell people right off the bat is, if you happen to have gotten in on a losing streak, don't give up, because there's a very good chance that you'll get in on a winning streak and you'll make a lot of money from this. And this could be the time that he goes from $2,000 to $100,000. We just don't know. The guy's a genius. He learns and improves each time. And so I'm very optimistic about this particular journey. And so we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping that he mentioned that Jeff Bishop is helping him with stop losses a little bit, which should help with the significant drawdown, because going from 2,000 to 30,000 and then drawing back down to 8,000, it's pretty harsh. But when you're trying to aggressively grow a $2,000 account, that's the mentality you have to have. And I think people get annoyed if they come in and they find that that $2,000 may go to $1,500 because they're in a bad trade. One out of the 10 that goes bad. The win rate is very, very high, but the losers can be quite harsh, so you got to be very careful. If you want to join this, it's just started, so it's only had the first 5 trades. Like I said, I've always noticed that the first 5 to 20 trades have been like the best, and then things start to get a little bit hairy, and you need to have more money, right? Because he's already at 30,000 or 20,000. So I actually did my first trade on small account journey. It was Tesla, and so I'm going to show you the trades he's been doing and show you my brokerage account and that kind of thing right now. So before we get started though, if you aren't interested in really high risk, high reward trading like Jason does, and and I think it's important that you realize that that's what small account journey is all about. Most people do, but some people might be like, oh, of course I'll just copy Jason, and before I know it, I'll turn that 2,000 into $1 million. High risk, high reward. What I'd like to share with you in the description below is a link to this webinar, and it's basically where Lance from Theta Traders and I basically have shown how you can win basically almost every single trade. I hate to say every single trade, but it's hundreds of trades now. It's well over 100, and it's been over a year and a half. We haven't had a single losing trade. It's called consistent passive profits for a reason. You're not going to triple your account in a month like you might with small account journey, but if you're looking just to keep that passive cash flow going, it's one of the best business models I've ever seen. And I've been doing online and offline entrepreneurship for over a decade. This is by far my favorite way, totally stress-free and very reliable and consistent. So a lot of people are finding success with it and really enjoying it. It's like the opposite of the small account journey stuff. So maybe it doesn't fit well here, but I keep bringing it up because I really do believe that this is a strategy that most people can benefit from significantly, especially if you find that the stressfulness of the small account journey is just too much for you, right? If it's too up and down, and it is very volatile. It has to be in order to get the type of gains that Jason is aiming for in small account journey. I'll leave a link in the description below where you can get this 83% off. You can get a whole year for $499, which is really amazing. The seats are taken away. This is one of the most popular services that Raging Bull's ever offered. Definitely worth checking it out. It's something that you can learn a lot from. He does a lot of teaching. There's courses included, which is really good. He has included his different courses. He's very active with question and answer sessions, and very, very good at keeping spreadsheets and showing what trades he's doing. Talking about spreadsheets, here's the latest journey. Kind of zoom in here. So you can see they're all bull puts. So you're selling an option on Meta and you're buying an option, and you've got the width, which is 5. You've got the expiration, how many, then the risk, what's the capital, the credit you're getting for it, and also the entry and the average and the exit and all this. And so far you can see it's amazing. So he's gone, it's not even including the winner, which was in that email I showed you right here. So it's gone up to 5,739 because he closed out Meta for a big win. So it's fantastic. And so these are very easy. Sometimes the timing's important, sometimes it's not. I actually got in later than Jason did on this one right here. This Tesla bull put right here. So I got in on the third trade that he was doing on the small account journey. There was a lot of trades suddenly hit all at once. And I think that was part of the problem. Jason was trying to balance like so many services and so many different little journeys. So he had all these different journeys going. And it became impossible to manage. And he went out for lunch, came back and the markets had tanked. He hadn't had a chance to stop out and everything was a nightmare. So not making excuses for him, just saying there's the way he's changed this is he just has one journey now. It's a diversified journey. It has different rules. I'm really excited about it. Anyway, I got in at a different time. I wasn't at my computer for this trade, and that's something you have to be aware of. These are not just like totally passive trades, but you wouldn't expect them to be because you're doing $2,000 to $6,000 really, really quickly in the space of a few days, which is crazy. So I took this trade, actually did it the same. I didn't take quite as many contracts. Ended up making, and I'm not out of it yet, ended up making, this is it right here. So I sold the 232.5s, bought the 227.5s, and made this. So you can see one side of the spread's obviously losing. That's how it always works. The other side's making more. That's how these spreads work. And the total so far unrealized is $1,110. This is risky though. Tesla has been going up and down and up and down. And if you know like about the rules of these spreads, and if you don't, just search bull spreads or bull puts, and you can figure out like where these things have to, like where the price of the underlying has to go. And there were several times, luckily before I got in, where this thing was going down and dipping down and hitting the bottom strike, which was a max loss essentially, but he wasn't closing it out. So you have to be aware that these things are volatile and terrifying. But again, that's what you'd expect if you want to get 110% on a trade in a day or whatever. So you have to be prepared for that, I think. If you're prepared for that and you're prepared to risk that $2,000, then you might really, really enjoy the small account journey that Jason runs. Now is a good time to get in. It has taken off a little bit, but you can scale back the positions if you want. So instead of doing 11 contracts, you might do 5, you know. So you can still join the journeys, but it's best to get in early on. Partly because I've noticed that they do run for a long time before they eventually always have a drawdown so far. Now they're not always going to have a drawdown. I'm hoping that this time it's going to have a smaller drawdown or no drawdown at all, but you just never know. This is the best strategy I've ever seen for small account building like this, and I think it's something that you guys would really like to try. I get a lot of stick from people as soon as he had the drawdown from 2,000. So he had this massive run from 2,000 to 30,000, and nobody really cared. But as soon as he dropped to like 8,000 from there, everybody's like, "Ah, he's a scam. Russell's promoting a scam." Blah blah. It's like, come on, people, don't be stupid. It's trading. It's high risk, high reward trading. It's how it works. So I even got one guy just saying sort of like, "Oh, this is how you muddy your reputation promoting these scammers." It's like, no, the guy's legit. He's actually one of the most honest, transparent traders I've ever met. I've known him for a long time, and he's doing a fantastic job. And he's stressing himself so much doing all this work for all the people in these services. And so I don't have a lot of sympathy for people who are complaining and causing people a lot of grief. It's a high risk, high reward service. It's going to either work or it's not. So I agree with this stuff, and yes, I'm always transparent with setbacks, losses, and refinement. He is refining things. Each one seems to get a bit better. This is definitely true. What will truly impress you is my service dedication to helping. He's on camera talking all the time and answering everybody's questions. There's nobody at his level that does that really. It's quite impressive. There's a ton of stuff that he talks about. He uses these techniques. This is not just guessing. He uses the Keltner channels. He uses the 10-day EMA. He has all these different courses that would sell for a lot of money each. But it's packaged in, at the moment into this sale. Again, the link will be in the description below. You can use the code NEWJOURNEY as well in that link to get you the courses as well. And so yeah, pretty exciting stuff. If you go to Trustpilot, you'll find a ton of really good reviews on this stuff. Despite the drawdown, still tons of people really happy with this service. And I think it's important that if you aren't happy, if you did get caught in the drawdown, don't give up. Because if you give up, then you're not going to get the advantage of the next huge run on this. And you're going to be at a loss. Whilst everybody else and Jason will be making money. So can't promise anything. Never know what's going to happen in trading. Who knows? Jason might blow this up tomorrow. Hopefully not. But I'm going to be taking trades and reporting on these trades a bit more. I'm not going to be able to make every trade because he is actually quite an active trader. And that's something that I should point out actually is these trades actually can often be day trades. And this can be a problem if you have a small account of $2,000 margin account, right? So he does try to hold them overnight. So these are overnights. This one was a day trade though. And so is this one. So you have to be aware that of course you can only do 4 or 5 of these in the 7-day period, 7 days of trading with an account that's this small. So till it gets over 25,000, which hopefully, fingers crossed, it will. I'm rooting for this guy. I've had him on the channel several times. I'm really excited for him. He's a genuine guy. He wants the best for his students, and he really works hard to get these trades as good as possible. The one downfall with these is they are directional trades. Even though they're spreads and there is time decay involved, they're still very directional. So if the market has a horrendous pullback or just pulls back at the wrong time, these things might not work out the way that he hopes. Anyway, hopefully that's helpful, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.